Welcome back to Twisted Pair. I'm Matt Ayers. So, I've got some awesome tools to share with you today because, upfitters don't really have a lot of specialized tools that were built specifically for what we do. However, I have crossed over into the automotive realm, particularly automotive body realm, and a little bit into the commercial electric side, and I've gathered up some tools that you're really going to like. So, let's get started. First, van pliers. Man, I've been looking at these for a while, and I finally broke down and bought a set about 3 months ago. And the set I bought is the 7-inch slip joint plier version. Now, van pliers initially turned me off because there's this kind of a little bit of ShamWow, Flex Seal, Slap Chop to their marketing that where they just kind of sound too good to be true, but they are good. And I got a set, and I can tell you these things are great. And what they do specifically is they are designed to extract broken or stripped screws, and they do a great job. The jaw design on them is very unique, and it grabs a fastener that's broken, even if you just have a very little bit. I'm talking millimeter of two of exposed broken fastener. You can probably get them out with these guys. So say you're putting together a console and you're running that T20 Torx down and you snap it off because you went a little too hard with your impactor, you got a mess, right? And that's a very difficult task to get that broken screw out of that extruded aluminum channel. This guy will help you get it done. Highly recommend these. Very, very pleasantly surprised at how great they are at doing that difficult task of removing a broken or stripped screw. So give them a shot. Next, screwdrivers. Most of you have probably gotten really, really used to using power tools, impact drivers and such to run screws in. And you know that's kind of risky business because there's a good chance that when you finally hit torque on that fastener that your bit's going to want to cam or bounce out. And if you're, again, working on a console, it's not unusual that your bit will track down and tear up some painted metal. And there's other hazards to using impact type tools or even just power screwdrivers in general. And I think overall in this industry, we've gotten a little bit too far away from the idea of just using hand tools. And that's a mistake. Now, for most of the time I've been upfitting, I've used your typical Craftsman screwdriver set. And they're okay. I mean, they're well made. Lowe's will replace them forever. If you damage one and take it back, you can swap it out. However, I recently discovered Wera, and the Wera brand of screwdriver it's eye-opening. It is probably my favorite hand tool. I can't say enough about how impressed I am with these products. And what's so great about them, one, I mean, they're insulated, so they really do help in the electrical environment that you're working in. They have an excellent handle. It's nice and big and gives you a lot of leverage. It's very ergonomic and comfortable. But that's not the best part. The best part is the way Wera designs the screw engagement surface of the screwdriver. And it's very precisely machined, so it's close tolerances. It fits very, very well into the screw head, and it's serrated to help bite into the screw head and get you started. Now, it's done so well that you can literally stick a fastener on here and shake it, and it won't come off. And that is just something I've never experienced with other screwdrivers. They're holding up extremely well. They fit the fasteners so well. They're excellent if you're working on like a Gamber console and you want to run the retention plate screws in. You want to be very careful with those, and this does an excellent job. This is the number 3 size, and this works great if you're working with on Havas consoles. The armrest that mounts to the side of the extruded channel mounts with a 1/4-20 quarter drum. The one that installs with that screw that's a number 3 1/4-20 screw. This guy goes in there and does a good job of protecting that screw, because if you use the wrong screwdriver on those screws, they're a little soft, and your screwdriver will cam out and badly burr the head of that screw. And that will be a problem later on if the vehicle operator runs their hand on there. They're very likely to slice themselves, or if their gun belt rides up against that all day, it's definitely going to wear it out. So anyways, Wera, these are phenomenal. Get you a set. They are not prohibitively expensive, and Amazon has a huge variety of them. Now, NMO antenna mounts. You know the one, 3/4 inch hole in the roof, and then you've got this weird type connection where this goes on the underside of the roof, and then the nut comes down on top, and you have to tighten it up. Well, if you're using a Motorola kit, they probably sent you this little spring thing in there that's like a split ring plier, and it's designed to hold the center section while you tighten it with a wrench. It doesn't work very well. In fact, it works pretty badly because it doesn't have a lot of leverage to it. And what typically happens is you end up just kind of boogering it all up, over tightening things, or your gigantic crescent wrench slips off and you damage the roof. No need to mess with all that. These two tools I purchased off Amazon. The first is this Wright brand 15/16 wrench. It's their number 1430. Again, 15/16, so it fits the NMO mount nut very, very well. It's also only about 6 inches long. So because it isn't overly long, it doesn't put you at risk of adding too much leverage when you tighten down. And then the other half of this solution are these guys. Funny name, Speed Walks, I guess, pliers. I got them off Amazon, so you figure that one out. However, what's really great about these is they precisely fit the NMO mount, and you can really crank down on them. In fact, I've tried other solutions like split ring pliers and things like that, and I haven't found anything that works this well because you can really crank down on this. I'm pulling as hard as I can, squeezing, and it's just getting tighter and tighter. It's not coming out. And because these pliers are longer than the wrench that I just spoke of, you can guarantee that when you go and put enough torque on the nut to tighten it to the roof, you're not going to twist the NMO mount underneath there and risk kinking your cable up or anything like that. An excellent solution, about $35 for the pair of these. They're on the wish list in the description. Make sure you check them out. All right, this guy, soldering. So I'm going to turn this guy on. This is the Milwaukee M12 soldering iron. It is cordless, and the head does pivot if you need it to do that for tight spaces. But what's really great is when you turn this guy on, it's going to power up in about 15 seconds, get up to temperature, and you can solder with it. And I was skeptical of this guy, but I gave it a shot. I've had it now 1.5 years. I've dropped it many, many times. I've soldered many, many connections with it. And what's great about it is that it works excellent inside consoles, under the dash, tight confines, what have you. Man, I'm really impressed with it. And now there's no need to drag a soldering station into the vehicle. There's no need to worry about power. This guy gets it done. Now, this isn't the answer to every soldering need. Let me be very clear about that. What this works great for is 16 to 14 gauge wire, smaller gauge 18 all the way down. One, because it won't overheat the wire. It doesn't get ridiculously hot, but it definitely is hot enough to solder properly. And of course, there's no risk that you would have like if you're soldering with a torch, especially that small gauge wire. And it does a great job. As long as you keep the tip well maintained and keep a good charged battery on this guy, you're going to be really, really pleased with it. Not expensive. I've seen these at the local Home Depot for about $90 for the tool only. So if you're already invested in the Milwaukee M12 products, you have got nothing to lose by picking this guy up. I think you're going to really, really like it. Does a great, great job. All right, last but not least, hatch jammer. So I'm a little embarrassed, but I'm going to tell you that I did not know about this thing till about 6 months ago. And it blew my mind because it seems so obvious. I don't know how I missed it. What this hatch jammer does is if you're working on an SUV and you're going to install lights on it, like license plate lights, and you need it to be the hatch, when it's fully open, you obviously can't get to the lights, but when it's fully closed, it's very awkward to work on. This lets you open the hatch up to a better angle so that you can drill in excess and run your wire. And it's just super simple. All you do is hook this part of it into the SUV's hatch latch, and then hook this down on the hook at the bottom where the latch would normally close. and you're good to go. You'll be able to work on your vehicle without any type of hassle. It really makes the job of drilling the hatches much easier because now you can get it to where all the drill chips won't just fall all over the bumper and get in your way and you got to deal with them later. Great tool. I wish I'd have known about it 15 years ago, but I got one now and I highly recommend that if you don't have one, you add it to the toolbox. So there you go. A bunch of great tools for you. I recommend every single one of these. And if you're really interested in picking them up, just look in the description of the video below and you'll see that we have a wish list in there for Amazon. Now, I'm not advocating that you buy these from Amazon necessarily, but that is a very convenient way for us to give you access to a list, and you can buy these products either from Amazon or the vendor of your choice. And Amazon doesn't always have the best price, so keep that in mind. And I want you to know that neither Damon nor I nor Sound Off Signal profit at all from providing that list to you. We do it simply as a courtesy. It is not monetized, so have no concerns about that. So there you go. Always working on more Twisted Pair content for you. Pretty soon we're going to be talking crimping and soldering, what's the best solution, and talk about some of the best methods for doing that. I'm going to cover some heat shrink stuff for you, and we got a bunch of other ideas. Keep these videos coming. Keep sharing information with the upfitter who is so important to keeping the emergency vehicles to protect our communities on the road and safe. Thank you.